give y'all 1 minute to just come up with some answers to that. Just anything. Whatever you possibly can think of. Okay, it's just brainstorm. Use your imagination. Okay. So y'all know Ron Swanson, right? Okay. Yeah. Ron Swanson is very sure of himself, isn't he? Why is he so sure of himself? He knows more than everybody because he's freaking Ron freaking Swanson. Okay, what else? He just knows. Okay? He's confident. So how can we be confident? There's a clue up here. Full of faith. That'll work. All right. Who's got this today? Bibbit, can you read? Why did you doubt? But that's fine. So basically, you can do anything if you have faith. That's the message. Where you been? Okay. All right, so Jacob, what you just missed is our lesson on faith. If you had more faith, you probably could have finished that test a lot sooner. Okay? All right. Bibbit, who's going to pray for us today? Hannah, okay. Full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. All right, thanks. Here's a little funny I found. It says, Peter finds his faith to be much stronger in the winter. Boom. Fez, ice is water. All right, fine. All right, so let's go. Let's figure this out. All right, Corbin, you said this was easy. What do you got? Actually, Corbin, why don't you go up there and write it down? Why don't you go up and be our scribe for the day? Yeah, just on the screen. You'll feel my pain in a minute then. Oh, you're left-handed? Oh, okay. All right, y'all help him out. He's going to come up with one because he said it was easy, but then y'all help him. Increase supply. Oh, increased supply of money causes inflation. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right. Instead, let's think of it this way. Let's pretend that depreciate. Okay, that could be depreciation. That's good. All right. So that's depreciation. Tell you what, I'm gonna erase this, not because it's bad, but because I should have specified. Do we want to appreciate a currency or depreciate it? All right, so let's list some things that would appreciate a currency. All right, specific things. So the opposite of what you said, right? Yeah? A decrease in the supply of money? Okay. Oh, man. Decrease in supply of money. All right. That would appreciate it? If there's less demand, look what happens. The price actually falls. Okay, so more demand. Okay, that's demand of money. By the way, this is highly non-technical. We're about to get technical. But just in general, what can you think of? When would you ever demand a currency? Where? Okay. So if you need to buy something here, do you have to increase your demand for currency or just the money you're holding? I'm being very technical. When we talk about currencies, we're not talking about the actual cash in your pockets. And you'll get that today. Let's say you go to another country, though. Now what do you have to do? Yeah, that's how you increase your demand for that money. Okay? So y'all get that? Yes, no? If you travel somewhere, so appreciating would be maybe travel to another country. That would increase your demand for that country's currency. That would appreciate that currency. Yeah, it's like that. So the clue up here is that currency follows the same rules of supply and demand as everything else. Bless you. Okay? So we're going to get into that today. I actually enjoy this lesson because it's kind of cool. Makes you kind of realize some things. But it can be confusing. So y'all really have to pay attention. And when we get to a certain point, Fez is going to say, give me the notes. All right, good. Until then, I just want y'all to write your notes like you normally do. Okay? So today, after today, you'll be able to explain the causes of currency valuation fluctuations. But then, in addition to that, you're going to predict the effects. Okay? So you're going to learn what causes currencies to go up and down in value, and then how does that affect other things. Okay? Because in economics, everything's a ripple. Everything ripples out. Okay? Did y'all do the sugar shaft? You did? Just pass that up then if you did it. Yep. Huh? I'm going to give you bonus points for it. Oh, nice. And I enjoyed that picture. That was nice, yeah. That was very nice. All right, let's see. Your homework is Kia 2-3, which I very strongly encourage you to draw graphs when you answer those questions in 2-3. Okay? Thanks. No, you're good. You. All right, you got them all? What? Yes, ma'am. Oh, thank you. All right, good deal. Thank you, guys. All right, heads up, you're going to have a major quiz in 2 more classes. So not Friday, but on Tuesday. And then you're going to take a test on Thursday. What? Next Thursday? Yes, the very next class. Every time. That's my formula. That's my formula for your success. Yeah. Why? Well, because what we do with the major quiz allows us to put together everything we've learned and like use actual analysis and write things down. And then when we grade it, it's a good review. For then you take the actual multiple choice one. So that's why I do it. It works out. It's worked out pretty well for the last 8-9 years. All right, should the U.S. protect its domestic tire industry? So we're going back to last class. We learned about tariffs and barriers to trade. So there's a movement to restrict foreign tires into our country because our tire companies aren't as competitive. So what do y'all think? You say no? Yeah, no? You say no. What if your dad worked for a tire company? It'd be bad for him. See how cold she's being? Lindsay has learned to become an economist. Okay? Because you kind of have to think that way. You know, the guy who makes the tires, he's hurt, but overall, everybody else is benefiting. Okay? All right, so first some terminology. So I learned my lesson when I introduced a new subject last time, or a couple times ago. Y'all didn't know certain words. So I'm going to give you a chance to get some words down, okay? Number 1, fixed exchange rate. Okay? Exchange rates are just the price you have to pay for a currency, okay? A fixed exchange rate means the value of that currency is pegged to another currency so that it never really fluctuates against that currency. Okay, as an example, anybody ever been to Honduras? No, I used to go all the time, okay? And every time we go, I know the exchange rate and it never changes. It's always between 18 and 19 lempiras per dollar. Always. Okay? They never change it. But we're going to learn today that there's a currency in South Korea that goes up and down like crazy. Okay? So a fixed one never really changes, at least not by much. Okay? A floating exchange rate is the one that's subject to the whims of supply and demand. Okay? So we're actually, in this class, we're going to study the floating exchange rate. Okay? So when we talk about how currency will go up and down in value, we're talking about how it changes based on the floating exchange rate. Okay? When we say appreciation, we're not talking about you appreciating your excellent teacher. We're actually talking about an increase in value. Everybody cool there? All right. Depreciation means a decrease in value. Okay? Something goes down in value, it depreciates. It goes up in value, it appreciates. And then we also use words interchangeably with these two. Those are strong and weak. So guess which one of these means strong? That's right. So strong means a currency is appreciating. If the currency is weak, then it is going down in value. It is depreciating. So that should get y'all started. Bless you. Everything good? Nope? Okay. I wait. And if we come across any other words that we don't know, we'll define them on the spot. Okay? Katie, you're fast. You're fast. You should see mine. There you go. See? I scribble like a child. Yeah. I can type. I have an accommodation. I type. All right, we good now? All right, cool. Oh, man, I forgot this one. I'm sorry. Where currencies are traded and how they become strong and weak is through the foreign exchange market. Okay, we're going to talk about the foreign exchange market in a few minutes. But this is just the place currencies are bought and sold. So anybody ever travel out of the country? Okay, did you exchange your currency or did you just use dollars when you went? Okay, that place you exchanged them, you could think of that as the foreign exchange market. Okay? It's a little more to it than that, but you can think of that. Okay, that way it'll have something tangible that you can think about. All right, now are we good? Okay. Did you know that in the 80s you had 3 color choices as a senior? Yeah. It was, no, not the white. You had yellow, blue, and then guess what the other one was? Peach. It's popular then, I guess. All right, here we go. So just as a visual, okay? Like peach. I had a girlfriend who went here. All right, hey, moving on. Rachel, concentrate, focus. All right, if the U.S. wants a Japanese car, okay, what do Japanese business owners want to be paid with? Do they want your dollars or do they want yen? So guess what you have to do to buy a Japanese car? You got to exchange it, okay? First, you have to buy yen. So we'll send dollars into the foreign exchange market in exchange for yen. We'll give the yen to the Japanese people, and then they send us a car. Okay? That's kind of how it works. Okay? If the Germans want an American car, as if, okay? They would send euros to the foreign exchange market and then buy dollars with them, give the dollars to the U.S. car maker, and then the U.S. car maker would send them a car. Okay? Yes, sir. Which one? Oh, yeah, there is a country that still uses a franc. Yeah, there's a couple of them. All right. So here's the foreign exchange market. All right. This is very, very crucial. Okay? If you want to do well with this topic, you always have to think of Gabby. Okay? You have to think of her at all times. In fact, we could make a little, let's pretend she's at that podium. Gabby is at that podium, okay? All right. We're going to go ahead and we're going to read a story. Who can read this? Who's a good reader? Oh, okay. All right, Alex reads. Go.
The forex is a market where currencies are traded. So if you want to go on a vacation in Mexico, you need pesos. You go to Gabby and demand some of her pesos. In return, she lost the dollars. That is why demand for pesos increases and supply of dollars decreases. She takes the pesos out of a box behind the counter and gives them to you to meet your expense. She puts your dollars in a box and it increases the supply of dollars in the box.
All right, so the foreign exchange market. You have to consider the foreign exchange market that podium for purposes of this class. Behind that podium is Gabby, and behind Gabby, she's got a bunch of little boxes where she keeps foreign currency. Okay? No, back it up. Time out. Here's the other thing you got to understand. The dollars that exist in our pockets are not in the foreign exchange market. Okay? The foreign exchange market is just that place right over there. So you have to use your imagination, okay? So she's got a box of pesos and she's got a box of dollars. When you come and you take her pesos, the demand for her pesos has increased. Y'all see that? What happens to the price of pesos? Goes up, okay? Then she puts your dollars that you gave her in the other box full of dollars. What happened to the supply of dollars? It increased. And if the supply increases, what happens to the price? It decreases, okay? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Did you hear what she said? She said if we take all our dollars to Mexico, the dollar will suddenly be worth less. Okay? Yes, ma'am. It's a real thing. Okay? It's not a place like, it's like more. It's more out there in the interwebs, but yeah, it's a real place. Okay, it's not a real place, but it's out there. You had a question? I saw a hand. Yes, sir, Fez. It's a marketplace. Nobody's in charge. If I want to sell my dollars to somebody, then I'm part of it. Okay. All right. So real quick, let's pretend there's. So I don't know which one of y'all went on vacation in Mexico. Who was it that did this? Okay, Fez. Fez caused the dollar to appreciate. Okay? Well, that's neither good nor bad, except for this. Katie's right behind you in line. Now, Katie wants to also go to Mexico. Does she have to pay more or less for her vacation now? Here's why it's more, okay? Two things happened. Fez caused the value of the dollar to fall, and he caused the value of the peso to go up. So when Katie needs to go get pesos, guess what? She has to pay more than he did. The dollar depreciated, the peso appreciated. Alex.
The dollar depreciated because he put his costs.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, all right, yes, sir. Well, they do that a lot of times because of convenience. You know how milk costs more at 7-Eleven than at a grocery store? So if you have a guy who's just standing there at the airport, he'll probably charge you more for pesos than you could get at the bank. That's all. All right, so let's move on. Now that you understand appreciation and depreciation, okay, I need somebody to narrate. Lucy, would you like to be part of the narration? Okay. I forgot what's this girl's name, Tess? All right, read what she says. What must that mean about Tess? She's happy the peso appreciated. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know. What? No, okay, keep going, Lucy. All right. There you go. So she's upset, she's happy because peso's appreciated. I don't know why. Maybe she's going to Canada also. What do you think? Possible? I don't know. She's not happy because she's going on spring break to Mexico, and now it's going to cost more. Okay? All right. I need anybody have a calculator? A calculator?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to be in charge of this? Okay. We have a situation here. I don't know if you'll need your calculator for this one or not, okay? But apparently, training sessions with Hans and Franz costs 100 euros, okay? They're Austrian, I think. So they accept euros as payment for their training sessions.
Are they in the U.S. or are they in Europe?
They're in Europe, or that's what they're accepting, okay? Currently, the exchange rate is $1 for 1 euro. So how many dollars does it cost for a training session? $100. Okay, we got that one down. All right. What if the dollar appreciates? Then would it cost more or less? Okay, and if the dollar depreciates, it's going to end up costing more, correct? All right, so let's see what happens here. Looks like now $1 will buy 0.8 euros. So tell me, you got to use your calculator. You do.
$80?
No, not $80. Keep going. Did you hear? I think y'all are right. Okay. 125. Okay. So let's find out real quick. If the dollar will buy fewer euros, what has happened to the dollar? It depreciated, okay? The euro appreciated. All right? And now the same training session costs $125. Okay, all because the currency prices. Now we got this. Looks like now you can get a 1.5 euros for $1. So how much is it going to cost? Go, Beagle, go.
We do 1/8 equals x over, or 1/1.5 equals x over.
That sounds very confusing. You want to know what I do? I take the 100 euros and I divide it by 1.5 euros, and that tells you how many dollars. So what did you get?
66.
Awesome. So basically, if the dollar appreciates then, now you can buy European goods for lower prices. Okay?
So the dollar appreciates.
Final result is priceless. Thank you for calculating for me.
Wait.
Okay.
B appreciated, C depreciated.
No, back it up. With B, the euro appreciated, but the dollar depreciated. Okay? With C, the dollar has appreciated, but the euro depreciated. Cool? All right. Did y'all see that commercial, by the way? I thought it was hilarious. How many of y'all have done strength and conditioning classes? Have you done the ropes? Those wear you out, don't they? All right. Fine. All right. Fez, we're almost there. We're almost there. Okay? All right, so I'm kind of a nerd. So in February of 2008, I was curious what the current exchange rates were for all these leading currencies. Okay? We're going to focus on the South Korean won. Okay? The South Korean won is the one we're going to look at. So somebody keep a running total of what it's been valued at. Who's in charge of that? Grace is doing it. Okay. So in February 2008, $1 would buy 1,237 South Korean won. Everybody good? Okay. 6 months later, because I started doing this oh no, it's a year later. Okay. I started doing this at the beginning of every semester. So now, a year later, $1 will buy, just put 1,800 won. Okay. What has happened to the dollar, or tell me what happened to the won? Hold on, getting too many things. No, we can tell. Okay. Oh, okay. Y'all are getting confused. If your dollar will buy more stuff, is your dollar worth more? That's what happened. Okay. So in this case, the dollar has appreciated, and it's. Now let me focus on Rachel for 1 second. Okay. So to boil it down, make it simple, okay? You just got to think about this. Well, if your dollar will buy more of something, that means your dollar is more valuable, right?
Right.
So it used to buy 1,200 won, now it'll buy 1,800 won. So your dollar is more valuable.
So if the dollar appreciated, then that means that the won depreciated.
You got it. Good job. All right. Now let's do another one. Now it's 6 months later-ish. What happened to the won? Now the won has appreciated. Your dollar won't buy as many, so it has depreciated. You keeping track of these? Okay, let's keep going. February 2010, $1 will buy 1,600 won. Okay. All right, good. I think I have one more. September 2011, $1 will buy 1,100 won. So the dollar depreciates, the won appreciates. So is the won a fixed exchange rate or a floating exchange rate? Yeah, it goes up and down, right? Okay. It's just supply and demand.
Do you feel this vehicle is safe for highway travel? Yes, I do. Yes, I really do. I believe that. I know it's not pretty to look at, but it'll get you where you want to go.
All right. Well, you'll find out. I don't want to spoil the whole class. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Megan, you're not taking notes the normal way? Okay. 3, 4. Now, guys, I'm giving y'all these because I feel this lesson can be very confusing. So I want y'all to be able to concentrate and write everything correctly. So far, but we'll see. Okay. No. I will when you graduate, if you graduate. That's sports. Like if I had like for my swim team, I would have an official swim team Twitter, and I'd follow back and forth. That's different. All right, so Fez, how much is that Kia? No, just ballpark. Tell me what it costs. Okay. Fez says the Kia costs $12,800, right? Okay. Anybody else? $17,000. Okay. $20,000. Would you believe it if I told you you're all wrong, and the reason you're wrong, and you're off by millions, by the way? Bingo, Ariel. This car is actually, the price is 12 million South Korean won. Ariel deserves some currency. Maybe. Hey, shh. Focus. All right. Fez says that means it's about $12,000, right? It depends, doesn't it? Alex, you want to do the pricing? Yeah. So now we're going to find out what that Kia cost at each of those exchange rates in dollars. Okay? So in February of 2009, when the dollar would buy 1,800 won, mm-hmm.
6,000, like $6,666.
All right. Okay, cool deal. All right. Now, Fez, do you have a calculator? Still his. Go. I want you to tell us what it cost when the dollar was trading for 1,200 won.
This is like LCD scanners.
Oh, it's yeah. It's expired. Oh, that's expired.
$1,000?
No, keep going. You're off by a 0. All right.
$10,000.
This is why if you use a calculator, it doesn't actually help you. Okay? Good job. All right. Now what happens to the price of that car when a dollar is 1,600? Oh, do you have the next one? No? 7,500. All right. Bez, you're too slow. Okay. 2011.
7,500.
Wow. How much? 10,900? Okay. Last one. I checked it for today, by the way. 11,718. All right. Hey, I'm asking. Rachel, are you good? All right. So now we have these guys. says here they're very excited and happy that they bought their Kia in 2009. Why? Yeah, they only had to pay $6,667. Pretty cool, right? Okay, hold on. These guys are Koreans. This guy says, I sure do miss the good old days of February 2009. Why? What do you mean they lost money? Go ahead, keep going. Expand. When? No? Yeah, but what does that mean? Oh, we're listening to this one. The junior is showing you all up, just like the swim team got showed up by the juniors. All right, go. What do you mean?
Because the car costs more money, they can't sell as many.
Okay, do y'all get that? Okay. He is asking why, and here's what happened. Okay. Do you think Kia sold more cars when Americans had to pay this amount, or when they're paying this amount? Yeah, because you remember, they don't care what the dollars are. They want this. Okay? They want 12 million won no matter what. So how many cars are Americans going to buy at this price versus this price? They're not going to buy as many at the higher price, right? So we just learned a valuable lesson, guys. You want to hear it in case you didn't get it? If you're buying foreign goods, you like a strong dollar. Okay? But from the Korean standpoint, if you're selling goods to foreigners, you actually want a weak home currency. See, these guys liked it when the won was weak because they sold more cars. Well, from those two perspectives. I don't know. Why wouldn't they? Okay, so Kish is trying to make this just one-sided, right? So let's look at it from multiple perspectives. Do you think an American auto manufacturer enjoyed competing with a Kia when it was sold at that price? No. So if you're a domestic producer and you only sell in the United States, you would like a weak dollar, because then people can't buy as many imports. On the other hand, if you're a consumer and you buy a lot of imported goods, you like a strong dollar. So it just depends. The answer is it depends whether or not it's good or bad. You could say, yeah, you could say that, except I'll give you specific answer choices that won't depend.
Okay, so consumers who buy foreign goods like wheat.
No. If you're buying foreign goods, you want a strong dollar.
Of your own or of theirs?
Of yours.
South Korea right there says I should.
Yep. That's right up here, because they were selling more cars because the price was lower for us to buy. All right, we're going to come back to this, okay? The thing is that when you're asked a strong and weak dollar, it depends what you want, okay? Because here's what ends up happening. If the dollar is strong, we export less, okay? Why? Because our dollar costs more, therefore our goods would cost more. Okay? I don't think so. And then if your dollar's strong, you're going to import more. So those of you that complain about buying stuff from China, guess what would happen if our dollar is strong? We're going to buy more stuff from China. So if you don't want us to buy from China, you probably would like to have a weak dollar. Okay? So again, it all kind of depends. So we're gonna come back to this. Yeah, you get more stuff. Yeah.
It's not bad for the economy because we're importing more exporting.
Well, it depends how you look at it. If I can get more stuff at the same price, then it's good for me, and then it allows me to spend other money elsewhere, and so it could be good for the economy. If our economy was based solely on exports, a strong dollar would be bad for our economy. It's kind of like in China. Okay? Speaking of that, okay? Do y'all ever wonder why China's goods always cost less? If we buy so much stuff from China, how come we haven't increased the price of their currency to the point where their goods become more expensive? Any ideas? They're going to do something. Do you remember the fixed exchange rate? Okay. Here's how you create a fixed exchange rate. I'm going to make this the Chinese yuan. By the way, this is a very important thing in graphing. If you're talking about a specific currency like the yuan, the way you price it is not with the letter P. Okay? You have to put dollars per yuan. Okay? You can't just put price. I don't know why. And then if you really want to be specific, instead of just quantity, you put the quantity of yuan. Okay? Anyway, what they would do is this. Let's say I buy a whole bunch of Chinese goods. That means I'm going to increase the demand for their currency. Okay? In a floating exchange rate, we all doing that would cause their currency to become more expensive. Suddenly their goods aren't going to be as competitive. Okay? But guess what they do in response? The Chinese. They increase the supply of their currency by buying foreign currencies. They'll buy up US dollars to put more of their currency here. And so they increase the supply. They try to keep the exchange rate pretty stable. Okay? Even though they export so much. I mean, if in a real world, as much as they've exported and as little as they've imported, they should have a very, very, very expensive currency. But they don't. Have y'all ever heard of the Big Mac Index? You have? Oh, okay. The Economist magazine puts this out every year. And what it does is it just basically tells you what a Big Mac would cost in every country. Okay? If the currencies were freely traded. Or actually, no, it's just as they are, not as if freely traded. So look what it would cost in China. For a Big Mac, it would cost us $1.83. In the U.S., it costs $3.58. The reason that is because their currency is undervalued. Okay? Look at these countries, though. Norway, their currency is actually overvalued. So it would cost $7. It's just a way to look at things. It's not important. It all depends. Okay? It depends. All right, so now we're going to look more specifically at the things that will cause currency appreciation and depreciation. How much time we got? 12:20? Okay, so we got more than 30 minutes. That's good. So please note this. We need to understand that whatever happens to one currency, the opposite happens to the other. Okay? So examples. Let's say we buy other currencies. That means we're giving Gabby more supply of dollars. I want to go to Europe. So the supply changed here, right? So that means the demand changes here. That's opposite, right? Well, because I'm going to Gabby and I'm demanding euros so I can take my vacation. So that means demand has increased. Okay?
Is this all in the Forex?
This is all in the foreign exchange market. You got to understand there's two parts to the exchange. Okay? It starts with this. I go to Gabby. I say, I demand euros. She says, okay. At that time, the demand for euros went up, right? In response, I give her dollars. Now what happened to the supply of dollars? It goes up. Yeah, so the supply increases simply because she has more dollars. All right, here we go. Shh, focus. There's other ways to look at this, okay? I'm going to use blue now. You could think of it this way also. We're going to be doing examples, okay? So don't freak out if you don't understand right now. Just accept that they go opposites, okay? There could be increases and decreases. If let's say I've got a choice to vacation in, I'm a Canadian. I can vacation in the U.S. or I can vacation in Europe. If I choose to vacation in in U.S., I'm going to demand more U.S. dollars. But that means I'm not going to be demanding euros, okay? Opposite. Demand goes up here, it goes down there. Okay?
Wait, would it not change?
I'm just making an example. That's all. Don't worry about it. Okay?
I didn't realize it would.
Yeah, it might not change. Okay? The other one is this. If one currency appreciates, the other has to depreciate. Okay? So there's your basic rules. Don't get hung up on anything with like the what ifs and stuff. Just accept it. Okay? All right, some specific things that will cause a currency to appreciate. Okay? If we have an increase in taste for a nation's goods, Okay, if you want European goods, guess what you need to buy first? The euro, which means it'll appreciate. Yep. Higher interest rates. Okay, just accept it for now, but if a nation has higher interest rates than another one, you're going to demand their currency, and it's going to appreciate. Okay? The letters PL stands for price level. Okay? That means inflation. So if there's a lower price level in one country, people are going to vacation and shop in that lower price country. So that would appreciate their currency. And if a nation if they experience a decrease in income, that means they're going to be supplying less of their currency because they can't afford to travel and buy goods. Okay? So that would appreciate a currency. The opposite is also true. Price level. So the opposite would be true, and then the opposite would cause depreciation of a currency. Okay? It means you don't want a nation's goods if there's a decrease in taste. A nation will have a lower interest rate. We're going to discuss that in depth, so just accept it for now. If their prices are higher than other countries, relatively speaking, then people aren't going to want to shop there, so they would depreciate their currency. And if you have a higher income, that means you buy stuff. And you don't discriminate between American goods and Chinese goods. If you have more income, you're buying Chinese goods, which means you're giving Gabby a whole bunch of dollars in the foreign exchange market. I'm going to show you. Okay? We'll do this example first. So if we have an increased taste for a nation's goods, okay, the increase in taste has a direct effect on the currency's value. That's a selfie. I did well, right? Okay. Real quick. Where's Porsche? What country? Germany. Doesn't matter. It could be Italy. The point is that I would need to get me some euros. So this is a supply and demand graph for the euro in the foreign exchange market. Okay? How do I price it? Dollars per euro. Okay? And then I got to label my supply curve, my demand curve, and then I got quantity of euros. I'm less of a stickler on the quantity part, but if you mess up the price, you don't get it right. Okay? You get nothing, no credit. Okay, so you got to make sure you do that. That's why I'm saying practice drawing the graphs. Practice makes perfect. All right, and then I'm buying euros with dollars. So let me just draw my dollar graph. Supply, demand, quantity. And then now I'm pricing dollars as euros per dollar. Okay? So that's how you draw your graphs. The next question is this, though. If I want to buy a Porsche, what do I first have to buy? So I go to Gabby. I say, Gabby, give me some euros. The demand for the euro has increased. What am I giving her in return? So the supply of the dollar has increased. What happened to the value of the euro? It appreciated. What happened to the value of the dollar? It depreciated. Okay? So again, the opposites work. Okay? We shifted demand here, which means I shifted supply here. This went up in value, the euro did. The dollar went down in value. So it's all opposites. I'm an American. Don't worry about that. Alex said the quantity increases too, right? All right. It does, but since we left that first unit of supply and demand, we're less focused on the semantics of quantity supply, quantity demanded, all that junk. However, you're right. If I'm demanding euros, that means there's going to be more euros traded for dollars in the foreign exchange market. So the quantity does increase. Okay? All right. How about this? If Japanese tourists visit London, in order to go to London, what first must they buy? Pounds. So I forgot the symbol for the pound. It's like a funny L. Okay. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Oh, I know what you're saying. Okay. I think I've got it. No. That's good enough. Yeah. You showing me? Okay, that's fine. All right, and I price pounds as dollars per pound. That's good enough. Okay. Oh, no, it's not dollars. Yeah, it's yen. Okay, these are Japanese tourists. Okay? And Japanese tourists are going to be paying with yen. And they're going to be buying whatever the pound. So it's pounds per yen. Why can't Britain just join the European Union? It'd be euros. It'd be easy. All right. So now we do this. They go to Gabby. What do they tell Gabby? I want pounds. Okay? And then what do they give her? So supply of yen increases. The pound did what? Appreciates. The yen depreciates. Wait.
So yen's appreciated?
No, the yen depreciated. Again, here's what happened. All of those people went to Gabby. They gave Gabby yen. Okay? So Gabby has more yen. They're right there. And by the way, you remember the rules of supply and demand? If there's more supply, if Gabby doesn't lower the price of yen, she's going to get stuck with a surplus. That's why the price goes down. Okay? So that was taste for a nation's good. Direct. Okay? Here's another one. Americans decide to no longer buy French goods. Okay? So still got the euro. We've got supply, we got demand, we got quantity. Now we're paying with dollars, so it's dollars per euro. And then we got the dollar market. The supply, demand, quantity. Now it's euros per dollar. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, we don't want their goods. So we're going to demand fewer of their goods than we used to. Okay? Yeah. And so the supply of the dollar decreases. Dollar appreciates. The euro depreciates. Okay, back it up for a second. Normally, on any given day, Gabby will receive, let's say, $100 in exchange for euros. Well, now we don't want their stuff. So she's going to have fewer dollars exchanged. So we just say the supply decreased. Okay? Our main goal, though, is this, Sophia. We want to know what happened to the value of each currency. Okay? This one makes sense, right? We're going to demand fewer euros, so the euro depreciates. Well, what's going to happen here is the dollar appreciates. That's how it does it. Okay? Maybe it's minuscule. Maybe the change is just little. Okay? It doesn't really matter. All right, y'all happy with that? So the taste for a nation's good is directly related to its value. Now we're going to talk about the nation's growth rate. This is our income. Okay? If our economy is booming, do we buy things? Absolutely, we buy things. Do you care where it's made? No, you buy all kinds of stuff. Okay? So in this case, we're going to buy Japanese goods. So we've got our yen. They're American. You don't know them? Christine knows them. Christine, tell them about this movie.
It's about, well, he basically is a poor guy and a really rich, I don't know what he is, he's a broker or something, and his boss basically does something where they hire Eddie Murphy to replace him, and he becomes poor, and then at the very end of the movie, they work together and put their bosses out of business and becomes rich.
Yeah, it's a nature versus nurture experiment, right? Yeah, they wanted to find out if they could take Eddie Murphy out of the streets and train him and teach him and let him be treated like a affluent person, if it would cause him to act like one. And so there is nature versus nurture. And so they took the rich kid, Dan Aykroyd, made him broke, and then he was in the streets. It was bad. Anyway, they become rich, so what happens to their demand for the yen in response to them wanting to buy new TVs and cars and everything? Yeah. Okay. And in order to buy those, they have to supply dollars, so Gabby's going to end up with more dollars. Boom. So a little while ago, I think, didn't somebody ask, well, how is it that being, more income or less income will appreciate or depreciate a currency? This is how. Okay, the main driver is that if we have money, we spend it, which means we put dollars in the foreign exchange market, okay, which depreciates our currency. Well, then it wouldn't happen. But the thing is that we would buy more than we used to. We would still buy imported goods, right? And if we closed our borders and all that, then maybe you wouldn't be able to buy foreign goods, but we would. So, boom. Okay, our income increased. What happened to our currency? Okay, so they went opposite directions. Cool? All right, now we've got another situation. It looks like we're in a recession. 5 million people lose their jobs. Are they buying Japanese products now? Okay, so in the yen market, this is getting redundant drawing all these labels, isn't it? It's important though. We got to do it right. If we do it wrong, you don't get points. Well, there's two ways to know. Number one, I told you so you could write it down and memorize it if that's what you have to do. Or you could just manipulate the supply and demand graphs and see what happens. For example, if I asked you what is the relationship between a nation's growth rate and the value of their currency, I don't expect you to just like rattle it off that it's inverse, okay? Instead, what I'd like for you to do is draw a graph like this and think to yourself, okay, if we're poor, are we buying stuff? So we decrease the demand for that nation's currency while at the same time decreasing the supply of our own. That's how you know that when our income goes down, our currency will appreciate. Follow it? Yeah. Huh? Because these people, before, when they had jobs, they were regularly going to visit Gabby to exchange their currency for yen. Now they're not. Okay? Cool? Interest rates. All right, this is important. Okay? Y'all being 17 and 18 years old, it's very likely that many of you don't have a lot of experience with interest rates. Am I correct or wrong? Okay. So interest rates work like this. When you borrow money, you pay it back with interest. When you save money, you get paid interest. Everybody follow me? Okay. So we just got to use our regular rational economic decision-making skills. And then we have to decide if we're putting money in our banks, do we want high interest or low interest? Good. So did you know interest rates fluctuate from country to country? Okay. This guy says, yo, I got 50 cents. That means 50 cents, like half a dollar, that I need to put in the bank. Interest rates in the US are 5%, and they're 10% in Canada. Where should he put his money? Okay. So you got to think of it this way. Maybe I personally would never go to Canada to put 50 cents in the bank. What if I had $1 billion? It'd be worth it then, right? Okay, yes ma'am, Alex. No, that's for a different reason. Okay. The offshore, no, it's not necessarily. All right, here we go. So we've got the Canadian dollar and the US dollar. We've got supply, we've got demand, quantity, supply, demand, quantity. How do I price the Canadian dollar? It's dollars per Canadian dollar. So dollars per Canadian dollar. Okay? And then pricing the US dollar, it's Canadian dollar per US dollar. Okay? So if he wants to put his money in the bank, the Canadian bank is going to want Canadian dollars, right? So he goes to Gabby. He says, yo, Gabby. Yo, Gabby, Gabby. Isn't that something? You would know. All right. Just kidding. So he goes there. He visits with Gabby. He says, I need Canadian dollars. Boom. And then she says, give me, well, 50 cents. So the dollar depreciates. Canadian dollar appreciates. Happy? Okay.
Is there any certain
Not if you're comparing two currencies and you're just comparing those two, one will go up, one will go down. Okay? It's never the same. If you have a third currency involved, then maybe you could make two of them do one thing. Yes, sir. I don't even have money in my own bank. So no, I don't have money in foreign banks. Yeah. Fez, yes.
How do you do that?
Not necessarily. It just depends. So Jacob's asking, do people do this a lot? They do. Okay. In fact, in the foreign exchange market, people actually buy and sell currencies to make profits, just like they would stocks. It's like gambling. Huh? What I would do is put it in the stock market and let it sit there for 30 years and then really get a return. Okay, moving on. All right, shh, focus. Come back to class. Corbin, come back. Alex, come back. You're confusing Rachel. Rachel, focus. Okay? Y'all know this guy? He was recently punished by being awarded $2 billion. Okay? Whatever. They gave him $2 billion because they forced him to sell the team, and somebody paid $2 billion for it. Anyway, he's got $2 billion. Interest rates in the U.S. are 3%. Rates in Mexico are 4%. Okay? Anybody want to calculate what he can earn each year at 3% versus 4% and see if it really makes a difference? All right, who's got it? You're on it? This is a yearly rate. So just take 3% of $2 billion. Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, you're so smart.
60 million. Isn't yours 60 million?
I don't know.
Or 3%?
I'm asking you. I'm not a calculator.
You times it by 1.
I don't know.
Well, then you earn 60 million.
Okay, so the difference would be 20 million? So he could earn 20 million more by putting it in Mexico. Would you do that? There you go. So let's do this. This is the peso. We got supply, demand, quantity. How do we price the peso? Dollars per peso. And then this is the US dollar. Supply, demand, quantity. And then we got peso per dollar. All right, so he's going to demand more pesos. Okay, so he's got to convert his $2 billion into a bunch of pesos, like 10 times that much. And then he's going to give Gabby a whole bunch of dollars, which means higher interest rates in Mexico cause the peso to appreciate. The lower interest rates in the United States cause the dollar to depreciate. Okay? Cool deal? Okay, we got price level. I think it was a Microsoft guy, right? Or an Apple guy? Which one was it? All right. Can anybody read Spanish?
Yes.
All right, what's that say?
Wait, you want to do
Today only.
What does that mean?
All right. That's right. Today only, everything discounted 50%. So if you could get a really good deal by going to Mexico, do you want to do it? Yes. So the peso versus the dollar. Dollars per peso. And pesos per dollar. Okay. So if people want to shop in Mexico because the prices are lower, first they got to go visit Gabby. They tell Gabby, I need some pesos. Demand goes up, which means the peso has done what? Appreciated. Automatically, you know the dollar has to depreciate, right? So you could do this one two ways. Okay? You could do this one two ways, really. If prices are higher in the U.S., then other travelers won't be shopping in the U.S., so you could lower demand. Okay? Or we can be Americans shopping in Mexico and giving Gabby dollars, so the supply could increase. You could do this from two perspectives. Okay? Like that would be that you'd have to change this, but I'm telling you, it doesn't really matter. If the peso appreciates, the dollar depreciates. And the dollar could depreciate because there's more supply or less demand. Okay?
Less demand for the dollar because everyone's going to Mexico.
Could be. Yeah. All right. Huh? Well, international trade is very, very big. It's a big thing. In fact, it's bigger than the U.S. economy, so it's macro. Okay? All right. Price level inflation. Pulled from the headlines, we have Zimbabwe. Worst inflation ever. Yeah, this guy's going to the store for milk. Okay? They're having to teach children these numbers. Quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion, septillion. Yeah. So it's like, hey, how do we do this? These guys are starving billionaires. Where else could you see that but Zimbabwe? So our question is this. Do y'all know her? She's the Texas Tech cheerleader who likes to big game hunt. So her question is this. Knowing what we know about Zimbabwe, does she want to go on her next trip to Zimbabwe or Mozambique? All right. So now, all right, check it out. We're going to price. We're gonna compare both currencies now. We're not actually comparing Mozambique and Zimbabwe. Instead, we're going to see how her action affects each currency. Okay, so we're going to make them. Let's see. What is Zimbabwe uses dollars? Okay. I don't know what Mozambique uses, but I'm just going to put Mozambique. Okay. Yeah, it matters. We're pricing these as dollars per Zimbabwe dollar. And we're going to price these as dollars per the Mozambique currency. Supply, demand, quantity. Supply, demand, quantity. If she chooses to go here, then the demand for their currency increases. If she, along with a whole bunch of other people, choose not to go to Zimbabwe because prices are too high, what happens to their currency? The demand would decrease. So goes up, appreciates. This one goes down, it depreciates. Okay? Yeah, it'd be reversed if she chose to go to Zimbabwe. Well, what I was doing here was I was showing how an American could affect both currencies. So the American isn't going to have anything to do with the supply of either currency. So we're just going to do it like that. Cool? All right. Political instability. Okay? If you have a choice between keeping your money in a country that could have some sort of communist uprising or in a country that's pretty stable, where do you want to put your money? Okay. Do y'all know Messi? I don't know if y'all can tell what he's thinking, but he's saying that he's a little worried about Spain's government. It could become as unstable as Argentina's. Okay? So he's got the equivalent of $60 million in US dollars. Where should he put his money? The USA or Spain? Yeah. So we've got the dollar versus the euro. Got to label all the curves. If we don't, we get it wrong. How do we price the dollar? Euros per dollar. And we price the euro just the opposite, dollars per euro. His action all by himself, visiting Gabby, what's he going to demand from her? So the demand for the dollar increases. What's he giving her? Euros, so supply increases. He's causing the dollar to appreciate, and he's causing the euro to depreciate. Yeah, so this works similarly to interest rates, okay? If, you know, wherever you want to put your money in a safe place, basically. So that would make sense. All right, I've only got 8 minutes left, so y'all hang with me, okay? So far, we've looked at the causes of currency fluctuations. Now we're going to look at the effects, okay? As a reminder, these are the causes. Now the question is this. Is it better to have a strong or a weak dollar? There you go, it depends, okay? So let's go over why it depends. You've got this situation. I'm going a little fast, okay? I apologize. But basically, if a currency appreciates, that makes that nation's goods more expensive for foreigners to buy, okay? That means imports, that's the letter M, okay? Imports are going to go up because now, if I have an appreciated currency, I can buy more foreign goods. However, our exports, that's the letter X, they would go down since our goods are more expensive. Opposite's true. If our currency depreciates, now we're going to import less, okay, over here, but we're going to end up exporting more, okay? But just because the same reason why the Kia earlier in class would cost less for us to buy when our dollar was strong, but when our dollar was weak, it cost more, okay? So let's see, I've got some examples. All right, don't get excited. All right, if Justin Bieber gets deported and he decides he needs to take all his money to Canada, number one, where is it? How does that affect the value of the Canadian dollar? All right, you instinctively know that it's going to go up in value, right? And it's going to go up because he visits Gabby. He says, they're kicking me out. I got to have some Canadian dollars. So the dollar, or the Canadian dollar, goes up in price, okay? Now, the technical way to write this price is dollars per Canadian dollar, okay? But for right now, we're just going to put price. All right, so the Canadian dollar appreciates, okay? Now, next question. If the Canadian dollar appreciates, what happens to the price that Americans have to pay for maple syrup from Canada? Yeah, it's higher, okay? So if the price of maple syrup is higher, is Canada going to sell as much? No. So what happens to exports? They go down. So look what he caused to happen to his Canada. Very rude. Have y'all seen this?
It's just scary.
Isn't that just the scariest thing? All right. Do y'all know her?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she has this song called I'm All About the Bass. All about the bass, okay? So if she increases her purchases of bass from Djibouti, what happens to the Djibouti booty? She wants more bass from Djibouti. What happens to the value of the booty? It does go up. All right, so we know instinctively that if you buy more of something, the price is going to go higher, right?
Yes.
Why?
Eggs.
Excellent, James. I might start calling you Andrew soon. Okay? All right, good job. All right, so the booty appreciates. How does that affect the value of the American dollar then? Yes. Okay? It has to go in the opposite direction. The reason's because she's going to be supplying more U.S. dollars in the foreign exchange market in exchange for the booties. Okay? All right, next. What happens to the price then that foreigners have to pay for U.S. goods? All right. No.
Goes down.
Yeah. Okay? Now we graphed the booty. Okay? But now we're talking about the dollar. So sometimes I'll trick you up. I'll say if Megan Trainor buys more bass from Djibouti, what happens to the American dollar? Okay? It depreciates. That means foreigners have to pay less for U.S. goods. Okay? And then what happens to U.S. exports? They would go up in response. Okay?
Why do they go on?
Well, because the price is lower.
Oh, it sounds like about the export price.
No, the quantity of exports, yeah. Okay, good job. All right. And then what happens to U.S. imports? They're going to go down. Okay? Since our dollar won't buy as much foreign currency, we can't buy as much foreign goods. So the U.S. imports will go down. All right, did you see what I did here? She's saying eka nom 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 because she's eating a bass. Get it? Okay. Shouldn't have to explain things to y'all. So back to it. Is it better to have a strong or a weak dollar? If Drew will answer this. Drew, you're in the import business. You're in the American import business. You buy Persian rugs and then resell them to people in the United States. Do you want a strong or a weak dollar? You would want a strong dollar. Does he deserve a nickel? Yeah, he does. All right. Let's go Meredith. Okay. Meredith is an American business traveler. She has work to do in Europe. Does she want a strong or a weak dollar? Back it up. She would want a strong dollar. She doesn't know why, though. Who knows why? Yes, sir. Andrew.
Because the classifier exchange rates more.
Yeah, you could stay in a nicer hotel. Okay. Yeah. You'll get more euros for that dollar if the dollar's strong. So you could stay in a nicer hotel. Maybe you could go out to a spa one day after work. You know, it's good stuff. Okay? All right. Let's back it up. What if you are in charge of Disneyland, Chris, and you rely on tourism? Do you want a strong or a weak dollar? Weak. Why? I don't know if I even heard what you said, but I'm gonna repeat what I think you said. Okay? He said if he owns Disneyland and relies on foreign tourists, he wants a weak dollar because those foreigners can buy more US dollars, which means they can go to Disneyland. Everybody cool? All right. Anything else? Val, you come up with an example. You ask somebody a question, you have to make them be something, and then ask them if they want a strong or a weak dollar. Go.
Justin.
Hold on. Speak into this.
Justin, you're Italian, and you want pineapples
Okay.
from Canada.
No, not from Canada. Justin is an Italian person in Italy. In Italy now? Okay. So he's an Italian in Italy, and he wants to buy pineapples from Hawaii, not Canada. Do you want the euro to be strong or weak? Awesome. Strong is correct. Did you give him the muscle sign? Okay. Oh, you want another one?
Yes, please.
I'm being generous today. I don't know why. Who hasn't gotten one that would like to liar?
You stay really back together.
Better not break anymore. So here's my question to you guys. We're almost done. Have we kind of done all of this so far? Can you all explain the causes of currency value fluctuations? It's basically supply and demand, okay? But then can you predict the effects? Can you tell me what happens to a nation's exports if their currency appreciates? Lucas? Yes. Yes. If the currency appreciates, exports go down. Very good. All right, so now we're going to test our understanding. We got like 5 minutes, right? Okay. We have 10? Awesome. Daniel? Okay, Andrew's wrong again. All right. Daniel, these are tricky now, okay? All of y'all, I want y'all to pay attention. These are a series of questions. You'll have some like this on your homework, where it asks you in like step 1, what happens to the currency value? And then step 2, how does that affect exports, okay? So it can be confusing, okay? It might end up saying that Italy's exports increase. What does that do to their dollar or their euro? It goes up. After it goes up, then what happens to their exports? Then they go down, okay? So don't be confused. Danielo, the dollar depreciates relative to the peso. That means the peso has done what relative to the dollar? Good. So you have to go opposite. Excellent. Nickelworthy? Okay. Ready? All right. Appreciation of the dollar will tend to do what to American imports? Increase is correct. But let's see if you can do the rest. And then what would it do to our exports? Decrease. Awesome. This one's sort of broken, but it's still good. Okay. All right. Dylan, the yen price of the dollar has decreased from 150 yen to a dollar to 100 yen to a dollar. That means the dollar has done what? Appreciate or depreciate? Let's see. He said appreciate. I didn't even look at the answer yet. Let's see. It has not appreciated. Here's why. Step 1, the dollar is worth 150 yen. Step 2, the dollar is only worth 100 yen. That means the dollar is worth less. That means it depreciated. Save yourself, though. The dollar depreciates. What does that do to our imports from Japan? Val, for the steel. They become more expensive to us. Okay? So we don't have enough. All right, I think we have a couple more if y'all want to do them. All right. Are these? Oh, but I didn't on these because you don't have this part of the packet. All right. Depreciation of the euro will do what to European exports? Go, Justin. Good. Who would you like to give this to? You've already gotten 2 today, right? You're like on. You are on. Yeah, this is for charity. All right. That's charity right there. All right, Lauren, let's do this next one. If Mexico decides to increase their investments in the U.S., the peso will. Oh, time's up. Anyway, you guys did great. I'm very proud of you.